సో ఫనీ రవి సతీష్ స్నేహ వంశీ అర్థమవుతుందా చెప్పేది లేదా?
Yeah, Madhu.
ఓకే రైట్.
Yes. Yeah.
So we have like Git integration, Git integration want to change. We have pull request, Slim CI, like continuous integration. So yeah, okay. So I will give a short like intro point of it. Snowflake is a engine, DBT is a steering wheel or like gearbox and dashboard that makes the engine is safe, organized, and easy for a whole team to drive together to their destination like this. Okay, and we see about ETL versus ELT, ETL versus ELT. So we know, right? ETL means like extract, transform, load. Then what is ELT? Speak out. I already told you many
Extract
times.
load trans.
Yeah, I already told you many times. Like a discussion, only one person is responding. Remaining funny. You funny. Why you are not responding? Ravi, why you are not responding? Funny. Give respond, then I can give more. Okay. So in traditional data pipelines, we used ETL. So extract data from source system, transform it outside the warehouse, and a separate server load these data. So transform data into the warehouse. It means we are loading like we are extracting and we are transforming. Then we are loading the into the warehouse in traditional data pipelines. Clear? We are extracting, we are transforming, then we are loading into the, we are transferring outside the warehouse, okay, and we are loading into the warehouse with this on a separate server. So already transform data into the warehouse and modern pipelines. Modern pipelines. How it is going to do be with this modern pipelines? So it including DBT flow is like ELT into flow ELT. So how it going to work? Like extract, okay, load and transform. So extract from these source, slow load the raw data, okay, extract data from the source system. So load the raw data into S3, S3 to into the warehouses, Snowflake, BigQuery, Redshift, so other warehouse. So transform it inside the warehouse using SQL, and this is last T step exactly. But so where DBT leaves? So while before DBT, we are transforming within the Snowflake, but after DBT came into the picture, so why like these industries are moved from ETL to ELT? So because of cloud, whereas like Snowflake becomes so powerful and so cheap, and that is made more sense to dump the raw data into first and let the there is a more compute power to like heavy transmission work instead of buying a separate transformation server. The DBT is quite literally the T or in ELT or nothing more than nothing. Like I said, it does not extract data and it does not load data. So tools like Fivetran, Airby, or Snowpipe handle the EL part, like extract load. We have bulk, continuous, and incremental. So batch load, okay, different, right? But here, whenever we have data in the warehouse, we are connected with the DBT, then we are doing the transformation, T part, transformations. So here, see, I'm always saying ELT. So T is a transformation. What about external load in the DBT? Why the name is ELT? Just we can give DBT's T, DBT's transformation tool. Why we are using EL? EL means here in the DBT. Uh, we have one seeds that using seeds we can extract and we can load data into Snowflake warehouse. Seeds only CSV files, not other JSON files, only CSV files. So it going to extract CSV files, it going to load into the Snowflake. There we are doing the transformation. So that's why they used to call ELT. Okay, but everybody uses T only. DBT is only for T. No. So and I faced this interview question. Okay, so they're asking why uh, they're calling ELT perform only T transformation. It means DBT also extract and load. using seeds for only CS files, not other file format, only CS. So it extracts and load into the Snowflake CSV. So that's why DBT is ELT, extract, load, and transfer. Okay. So EL part is done by the other tools and T part done by the DBT. Okay. So does data live inside DBT? So this is very confusion. Okay, if you are learning DBT, so this confuses beginners a lot. So let's be I will direct. Okay, no, data never lives inside the DBT. Okay, no, okay, data never lives, okay, lives in the DBT. So remember this point, this is interview question they're going to ask. Last one, they're going to ask about ELT. Why ELT? Only transformation, right? So we need to say not only transformation, you do also extract and load using seeds, only CSV files, not JSON files. Okay. Here, see. Okay. Oh, so data never lives inside the DBT. So no data never lives in the DBT. So the DBT has DBT, okay, has no disk. So where your customer records or transaction data sits, all of your actual data, every row, every table lives inside your warehouse only, like Snowflake, BigQuery, Redshift, Database, some other. So DBT only holds SQL files like models, configuration files, YAML. This YAML. We can call like YAML or YAML file. Okay, so your test, okay, and documentation and macros when you run dbt run is a command. So dbt compiles your SQL, sends it to Snowflake, and the Snowflake executes and it stores the results. Dbt itself is a stateless when it comes to the data. It is like it not stores the data. Okay, stateless. Okay, so and we have dbt run, dbt core, and cloud. Here, see. So DBT comes in two flavors. One is DBT Core. This is the free open source command line version. So we need to install it. Okay. And usually with the Python core, like pip install dbt underscore core, and we write SQL query, and it could run the dbt run command and dbt test from terminal. Like we have IDE like VS Code we need to have, and we manage our own Git integration scheduling using a tool like Airflow and Chrome. Without DBT, if you are going with core, we need to use Airflow and Chrome, and for the posting of documentation. So this is for good for individual developers, not for teams, smaller teams. Uh, okay, it's good for individual developers and smaller teams. It's going to comfortable with the command line, with the command line. So there are 3, 4 smaller teams, individual developers, then it's okay. But when you have the 8 numbers, then we go with the DBT Cloud. So DBT Cloud is now offered under Fivetran and DBT Labs plus, right? We have already discussed about Fivetran plus DBT Labs. So this is the managed web-based platform. So browser-based IDE, no local installation needed. So built-in job scheduling, altering, and monitoring. So here we have native Git integration with pull request based on continuous integration checks, CA checks, and hosted documentation website generated automatically. And here we have role-based access control for larger teams. So this is one person came to me how to role-based access control on the DBT. So for the workshop, okay, few months, 3, 4 months back, okay, they asked about implement role-based access control in the DBT for the larger teams. So there are many things I solved. Okay, and this is what most companies use in production because it removes the operational overhead like of self-hosting or DBT core. Both DBT core and DBT cloud use the exact same underlying like DBT language and model logic. So cloud is simply more convenient, like team friendly. So compared to the core, so wrap around the core. Okay, so what can DBT connect? Okay, so this we will discuss tomorrow. What can connect with the DBT and and we what does DBT cost, okay, and advantages of DBT, and limitation and disadvantages of DBT, and we go with other things, okay, like historical data handling in DBT, SCD, and DBT validate, and DBT versus doing the transformation directly in Snowflake, or so other things we discuss, okay, tomorrow class, and real-time banking use case I'll explain tomorrow, and then tools similar to like with the DBT, completing with DBT. Now Snowflake, Redshift, BigQuery, right? Like that. What is DBT? Okay, and interview point of view we will discuss, and we will have to. Okay, as of now, any doubt here in this DBT? Any doubt? Let me know now. Pani, Ravi, Satish, Sneha, Vamshi.
Yeah, no,
So
normal.
yeah, okay. Tomorrow we will continue the class. Okay. So thank you. Guys. Okay. So DBT. So data build tool. Okay. Data build tool. So here we're going to learn from zero to interview ready. So high level. Okay. And see how we going to start. So welcome to DBT classes. So here, hello everyone, good evening. So today I'm going to explain about DBT to you all people from the very beginning in the simplest form. Okay. So all the way up to like advanced level. So real-time interview level concept that companies actually ask about DBT in interview, in live interview. So by the end of the session, you will understand not just how to use DBT, but why it exists, who built it, where it in fits in the company's data team, and how it compares to Snowflake. So says till the end of the class. So this is like we start with what is DBT. Okay. So DBT stands for data build tool. Data build tool. 1 second. Data build tool. Okay. So simple, you can see DBT is a tool that takes raw data. DBT is tool that takes raw data. Why it takes raw data? Okay, takes raw data. So that is already sitting inside in the data warehouse like Snowflake, Redshift, okay, and BigQuery, like Snowflake and Redshift and BigQuery. BigQuery. So ETC we have other also. So other means like data bricks. Okay. So Redshift and BigQuery are computed to the DBT. Okay. And data bricks also is there. You can convert the DBT. Okay. So like Snowflake, Redshift, BigQuery, or Databricks, and turns into thus data raw data into clean, organized, okay, trustworthy tables using just SQL. We are using only SQL here. Okay, we need to have command and SQL command. So think of DBT like a chef in the kitchen. So the raw vegetables, so raw data are already in. So think okay, like a chef, okay, in kitchen. The kitchen. So raw vegetables like raw data, raw data. Okay, are already in the kitchen, in the like warehouse. So kitchen like warehouse, the data in the kitchen. It's like a warehouse. Warehouse means like in the snowflake. Already we have data in the snowflake. It's a warehouse. It's like a kitchen. So DBT is a chef. So that washes, cuts, cooks, and plates the food. So it's like transform the data. So it is ready. Coming in. You can mute yourself. Okay, so DBT is a, like that washes, cuts, cooks, plates the food. Okay, it's like transformation the data. So it is ready to be served to the customer. So the business user or dashboard. So it's like very important point. DBT does not store data and DBT does not move data. DBT won't writes and runs SQL inside the warehouse. The data always stays inside a Snowflake or whichever warehouse we use like Snowflake, Redshift, BigQuery. So DBT is only the brain that tells the warehouse what is SQL to run in the order and how to test it. It means suppose we are running any queries in the DBT, it not runs inside the DBT. It runs in the Snowflake warehouse. Suppose if you connect with the Redshift, it runs in the Redshift. It runs in the BigQuery. It runs in the others, database others. So whenever we have data in the Snowflake in the warehouse, then we need to connect with DBT. We need to write the models. Okay, those are not going to run in the DBT. Those are running in the Snowflake warehouse. DBT is only like brain. It means we think, but our hands, legs, mouth, eyes, reason, ears going to do the work. Here ears going to listen, eyes going to see, looks, mouth going to speak, but the brain not speak, right? The brain not listen, the ears going to listen. It means brain going to command like that. DBT like brain, it commands the warehouse. Okay, run this SQL query, run that query, run this query, so on and so on, like that. Okay, DBT is for only writing the SQL script. So that is implemented in the warehouse. It means simply DBT is commanding the warehouses. So like DBT is only the brain that tells the warehouse what SQL to run in what order and how to test it like that. Okay. So now see the history of DBT. History of DBT. Okay. So here we have who started it, where and why. So now let's talk about the story behind DBT. So because understanding the why makes everything else make sense. Like DBT was started in 2016. Okay, in Philadelphia. Okay, Philadelphia. How to type it in देखने में बहुत अच्छा लगा what? लेकिन अंदर की तो आप ही जानते हैं the mute you can mute yourself. You have any doubt, you can text. Everybody mute. Okay, started in Philadelphia. Telugu. Okay, it's in the United States. It was created by the people like Tristan Handy, Brain, and Connor M. Arthur. So these three people are created. Tristan Handy, Brain, and Connor MC Arthur created. So all these three had worked together. So earlier a company called RJ Metrics. So they first started a small data consulting company called Fishtown Analytics. Their job was to help early stage like venture founded companies make sense of their data. Okay? So while doing this consulting work, so they kept facing the same like some painful again and data analysts know the SQL very well, but they had no proper displayed way to write the test like version control or documentation with for their SQL. So meanwhile, the data engineers had like good software engineering habits. So, but they were like we have bottlenecks because every small change had to go through them entire code. So Tristan and his team built a small internal tool to bring software engineering discipline like version control, testing, modularity, documentation. So in this with the world of SQL for analytics, so the internal tool was open source. Open source. It was named DBT. So because DBT was free and solved a real pain point like thousands of data teams around the world. So starting using it, and the community grow very fast to the 22 2021. So the company renamed itself from Fishtown Alex to DBT Labs. So before its name is Fishtown, the company name they changed it to DBT Labs. Okay, so because DBT had become bigger than original consulting business, so they are not using Fishtown, they are using DBT Labs. So it's like a virgin percent business. So DBT Labs grow into a like company. Now its value is 4 billion US dollars. And it created a brand new job that in the data industry called the analytics engineering for who knows very well DBT. So it's latest update. This is in 2025 and 2026. We have everything updated content here, and DVD Labs has now merged with Fivetran. Okay, Fivetran is switch tool, scheduling tool. So the data loading company in any all stack team, the combined companies like called Fivetran plus DVD Labs with Fivetrans. So John President, CEO and DBT's Tristan Hand is president. So these some history, okay, and we know about it. Fivetran now handles the EL. EL means what is the EL? Fivetran handles EL. What is the EL? You don't know EL?
Extract load.
Yeah, extract and load. So Fivetran handles the extract and load um, inside, and DBT continues the handle the T. Okay, DBT handles T. DBT handles the T. Means like transformations. ELT is like extract, load, transformation. Transformation. Extract, load, transformations. And together they cover the entire modern ELT pipeline. So DBT Labs has also publicly committed that DBT core will remain free and open source like Apache 2.0 forever. So students, no need to worry about free version will disappear after few minutes. Okay. So we got core and cloud. Core means we need to install, and cloud means we need to create an online account with our mail ID. We can start. Okay. So why does DBT exist? Okay. Why not just write plain SQL? So simply we can take like why DBT exists. We can write every SQL query in Snowflake, right? Still, why people are using, why many companies are using this DBT table tool. So why we cannot write just in the right plain SQL? So this is very common entry question. So we already know about, we already have Snowflake and run SQL. So why do we even need DBT on top of it? On top of Snowflake, on top of Redshift, on top of BigQuery, on top of Databricks, on top of other other data warehouses. Here is a simple honest answer like Snowflake by itself can absolutely run any SQL what we give it to it. Snowflake does the actual computing, storage, and processing. So, but DBT does not replace Snowflake, but DBT sits on top of Snowflake and organize how your SQL query is written, like tested, run, and shared without DBT. So teams used to write SQL script by hand. Okay, we will write with our hands, the fingertips, with the fingers, save them randomly, run them manually, and there was no record of which table depends on which other table. So no lineage. So no lineage. Lineage like it's a graph. No lineage graph. So whether the data is actually correct or no automated testing, and what each column means, no documentation, who changed what and when, no version control in the Snowflake, how to safely test a change of before it hits production. So like no CI/CD pipeline. So DBT fixes every one of these problems by borrowing best practice from software engineering. Okay, so problem without DBT, how DBT solves it? So here, so it's like what I have now. So I'll explain one more time. So we have lineage graph. Suppose I'm the person where it comes from, my parents, where my parents comes from, my grandmother, okay, and grandfather, where they come from. So if I take my name is full name like Vishumpala Maria God. So where I comes from? If you want to go to school, I need to fill every details. Even if I go bank, if I go passport, if I have a passport, everything, I need to know where I comes from. Okay, so here need to have lineage. Okay, so father and mother, child, and again grandfather, grandmother, and again great grandfather, great grandmother, and both sides, mother side and father side. So think like we have great fathers, great grandfather. Okay, and this is I will show you how the lineage graph look in the detail. I will show you. Then you will understand why it is DBT many people great grandfather and great I have to move the speed great grandmother. Okay, from one side, and here again we're going to have same thing here. Why? Okay, here simple take grandfather to take uh, grand grandmother. Okay, take grandmother, then take this. Okay, again these grandfather and the grandmother. Okay, so he's son of these father and mother, and she is daughter of this grand. Then here both having uh, child, right? So this is child having this grand, so child both having one child. Okay, like is a father. Sorry, from both we have father. Okay, this grandfather, grandmother. Okay, she wait. This one grandfather and grandmother. Then here you're going to have father, and here we're going to have the mother. Then both have child. Some complete. So now we need to know about where this child comes from. Okay, so mother or her mother and other father and mother. Okay, and her she's also going to have the grandfather. Okay, here also going to have the grandmother. Okay, and the child here, this child have father and mother. So this father, grandfather, grandmother, and this mother, grandfather, grandmother, and again great grandfather, great grandmother, and her great father, great grandmother. For they have separate. Okay, so here they have again separate, right? Again, I will explain. Okay, do not confuse. So if you know about these concepts, you can understand easily. Okay, this child father and she's mother, and her father is from grandfather and grandmother, her mother, grandfather, grandmother. Okay, and this grandfather comes from grandfather, grandmother. So both and this come from this great grandfather, great grandmother, great great, and again this great mother and father, and sorry, great mother and father, and great. Okay, suppose if they ask about this child, where this child comes, okay, where who is his family tree, or like who is family tree of this person. Okay, so we can go with like, okay, simply seeing this graph we can understood, right? One second, guys, I'll close the door. Sorry, guys. Close the door. Disturbance. Okay. This is if they ask about child, they go with father and mother, grandmother, grandfather of father, and for mother of grandfather, grandmother. Then again, great grandfather, mother of father, and grandfather and grandmother. Okay. So again for these, if we go like it's like a big tree, right? Big tree. Okay. So here we can find where the child his family tree. We can read, okay? Who is his father and mother? Who is your grandfather and mother? Okay. So we can see from this diagram, okay? So this is like lineage graph. Think like we have so one model, two model, three model, four, five, six, seven, eight. Okay. From this we have, okay, we have from this we have ninth one, tenth one, sorry, here ninth one, and we have 10th one, and here we have 11th one, and here we have 12th one. So I'm like and here from this we have 13th one, okay, and here we have 14th one, and here this is the final is like 15th one. See, same like you know, 8, okay, and these are 8, 4, and 2 this, okay. Here where this 15th model, these are models where it comes from, where it comes from. So are we going to see hmm, where it comes from? Okay. Here we can connect with these 15th model with 13th and 14th model. It means I'm joining these four tables. I'm writing, so I'm joining these one, two tables and I'm writing ninth model and let me see. So I'm joining this one and two. I'm writing this ninth model, three, four, fourth, 10th model, five, six, 11th model, and seven, eight, 12th model. Then again, I'm joining ninth and 12th, 13th, and 11th and 12th, 14th. And sometimes it's going to be like joining 9 with 10 and 9 with 11, 9 with 12, 10th again 9, 11, 12. We're going to have multiple models, not or one or two. Again, we are joining 4 like that. And this is like a simple model to understand. And again, I'm joining that photo. So now we know if they ask about where this model comes from. So joining 13th folder, if where this comes from 9 and 10, 11, 12, 9, 10, 13, 11, 12, then where 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, and what are the base of this 15th model? The base is these 8 tables. Okay, so this is we can find easily in the DBT. So the same thing we can find in the software. So that's why we have lineage. So lineage is not a simple word; it's a graph. Like we have family tree. So no lineage in Snowflake. We have lineage in the DBT. So like a family tree. So we can find if there is any fruit on tree, simply you can see that fruit comes which branch like that. Okay, so no lineage in Snowflake. It means no graph. There are no graphs, right? Snowflake and in DBT have okay lineage graph that tells where the data comes from. Okay, this is one of example we need to give while they ask about the why DBT, we have Snowflake, we can do transformation within the Snowflake, then still why we are using the DBT, can handle everything that is the warehouse, having the architecture, layers, micropartition, then why DBT means you need to go with this is only one point, not only they don't agree with one single point. The interrupt it does not agree with you a single point. Okay, so we need to give more explanation. We need to tell about every feature in the DBT. Okay, similarly, it is a simplex. So in DBT, we have the lineage graph. From that, we find child of Okay, father, mother, grandfather, grandmother, and great grandfather, great mother. Okay, if there are multiple tables, multiple models, we can find it. Okay, so this is okay. So snowflake are either how your SQL code written, right? So see here we don't have the CI/CD pipeline. So test in the DBT. What is testing in the DBT? See, DB Snowflake not enforce all constraints. Remember, so Snowflake not enforce all constraints. Snowflake going to enforce only not null as per documentation. So as of my experience, it's also enforced default. As much experience I'm telling, but as per the documentation, Snowflake enforce not null. Enforce means support. Snowflake support only not null. It won't support either a primary key, unique key, other keys. Okay, and it also supports default. Okay, so very simply you can remember as per the documentation, Snowflake enforce not null, and Snowflake also enforce with my experience and knowledge in default also because of I tried. Okay. So this one. So Snowflake not in for the all countries like primary key, there are other keys, right? So that's why even we are inserting the data, same data again, it's going to accept and it's going to load. If you try to install same data in Oracle and SQL Server, okay, what going to happen? So it will, okay, it will reject, it will go through the error. So, but if you install data in the Snowflake, okay, it will throw the error. Well, if you, sorry, if you install in the Oracle and SQL same data and the records I'm setting, same data I'm setting, it will throw the error. But if you install in the Snowflake, it will not throw the error, it will accept the data. Why? Because the Snowflake is a data warehouse. It need to accept the data, right? It need to accept the data because the warehouse, it need to handle large values. Even we're going to receive updated and insert same data, okay, updates. So you need to accept. That's why we have in DBT to avoid duplicate null values, repeated values. We have unique test, okay, not null test, accepted values test. What is accepted? Suppose there is one column. In that column, like age, it should be only 1, 2, 3. Okay, like only. So sorry, that column should handles only 19, 20, like that. Okay, okay, 7, 60. So the column should only take these values. Suppose if you are inserting 18th value, it will throw the, it will fail the test. Okay, unique values, not accepted values, range values, relationship test. Okay, that we have in that test. Okay, after when we have data in the Snowflake, we need to connect with the DBT. Then first we need to write the models. On that models, we need to write the test. Okay, and here how it going to move the data in the Snowflake. So we have CI/CD pipeline. What is the CI/CD? What is the CI/CD?
Continuous integration and continuous deployment.
Yeah, continuous. Okay, continuous integration and continuous deployment. Deployment. Okay, continuous integration and deployment that we have in the TBT. Okay, so with that we can move the code dev to test to production. So inside these are main environment standard, and we have pre-powered, okay, UAT. So different pre-powered UAT different. Okay, simple. Remember dev test production. So we can move the code. Okay, so here this how we move the code, how to need to configuration project files, these things. Okay. Here in Snowflake, we don't know which table depends on which reference function. So here automatically builds a depends like a graph tags. So no data call checks. But here we have built-in tests, not a unique DBT docs generated. Okay, no documentation in the Snowflake. Here, no, not documentation. If I am telling any words, if you're not explaining about those words, that will take the time that we will discuss in the classes. Suppose if I said node which tables depend on ref, I use to tag and built-in functions. Okay, that okay, built-in function, not only unique. Okay, relation. I use a refund tag. If I explain about refund tag, it will take more time. That we will discuss when we enter into the classes. What is the ref and what is the tag? Okay, I will even I will also explain. Okay, so first ref means I'm writing reference. So I'm getting so the Rajesh is there and he got job. Then he referred Aman to me. Okay. Other guys referred to me. Ravi is referred to, and today Umamesh he referred to me. Other guys. Suppose I'm writing. I have A, B, and C models. Okay. Now I want to write D model. So here I'm going to write D model with a reference of okay ref of okay A and ref of B and ref of C. It means I'm taking references of these ABC models. I'm writing the D model. That is a reference. Okay. And the DAG, it is a dependency graph that we'll discuss in the class. Okay. DAG is, so it is automatically builds a dependency graph. Okay. De-aggregating graph, we can call it. Okay, like that. And next point is no documentation in Snowflake. No documentation in Snowflake. Here, suppose you are writing number of codes, 400 lines of code, you are writing SQL code, 10 pages SQL code. So no worries, you are not going to writing all this code. You already have the code, you're going to modify it. Okay. Do not afraid need to write 400. You already have the one example. So we need to modify or we need to write new with that reference. Okay. So no documentation in the Snowflake. We have SQL queries, metless views, weaves, and script RBAC policies, PA data, security views. Okay, data sharing. Okay, then we have a lot of procedures around it. So there is no documentation in the Snowflake. Everything we need to paste in the Notepad. That is not good way, right? Everything copy and paste, copy. You going to copy 400 rows like 400 lines of script. So you do not have a single line, right? Your single SQL. You going to have so many SQL codes, many procedures, many UDF file formats, procedures, Snowpipe. So these are things, and the, some few your teammates going to they're going to modify something in the joins procedure and UDF somewhere. They're going to modify the code, right? They could modify the code. So in that scenario, we need to know who is modified that code and who is trapped that table and who is updated the table. So those things we need to know, right? So what the how we going to know in the Snowflake? That is manually we need to copy and paste. We need to ask them, right? So this is not good approach in the Snowflake, right? There is no
అన్న
documentation.
లేదన్న.
Yeah. So there is no
Yes, అన్న. Yes, yes.
any doubt? Come again, I didn't get you.
మమ్మీ చదువైపోయిందా లేకుంటే నౌకరీ పోయిందా ఇది అందరు చెప్పే ఒకటే ముచ్చట బిజినెస్
ఎవరైనా ఎవరైనా ఎవరాడు okay. So no documentation in Snowflake. No documentation in Snowflake. Okay. So here in the DBT. So in DBT, okay. So I told right. So we have four lines of code, procedures, UDF, snow pipes, so integration file farm, everything, and weaves, secure metal weaves, secure metal weaves, and RBAC policies. So it will if type they are going to be in team 8 to 10 numbers. We type it will take a lot of time, but in DBT what we do so Tim simply run like one command DBT tags generate Now it will generate the file with all what we have in the complete enter the DBT. So what it will do, it creates, okay. So what, a full lineage, okay, documentation website. So man, okay. So here and risky, where it's typing real documentation, okay, website, and what going to creates, okay, like risky environments, like while you have any deployments, risky deployments and environments, it's going to create, because now we are going to have the code, right, CI/CD pipeline, and for dev, okay, and staging, and okay, and prod, okay, and plus here we're going to have CI, CD, K, jobs, this CI/CD jobs, okay, here. So it's like a copy pasted SQL everywhere, like macros. Okay, in the macros we have macros like in the DBT, like a plus b whole square formula, like a square plus DAB. So while we are writing the maths, we are working with the math, we're going to use any formulas in between, right? So instead of writing the entire code manually, so we are writing we're using a plus b whole square, right? So like that, we're going to create in macros folder, and wherever we need it, we're going to use. Suppose I need to know about order, count of customers, count of orders, count of payments. I written macros, three macros, and these three macros, wherever I need, I'm going to use in the model of DBT model. So that we will do. Okay. And here, complete like copy pasted SQL everywhere, macros, Jinja, and like reusable codes. Do not we don't need to repeat again. Okay. So no save this thing, and changes Git integration, and okay, changes Git integration. Okay, we're going to learn about Git, Jira also, Git integration, and pull request, the commands of Git, pull request, and slim CA. Continue. So that like Snowflake is the engine, DBT is a steering wheel, like gearbox and dashboard that makes the engine safe, organized, and easy for a whole team to drive together to our destination. Okay, rejoin with the same link, we will continue. Rejoin with the same link now.